Hello and welcome everyone again to another video, and this video is dedicated for those Master League Premier players who I make these videos just because I don't like this league specifically. I love Master League, but not this one. I don't know, man. Every time I play this league, no matter how hard I play, I get 3-2. No matter how many games I throw, it's still 3-2. If I try hard, I get 3-2 in this league. If I don't try hard, I still get 3-2. So I don't know how to play this league specifically. This used to be known the most, the most RPS league, where basically you either hard counter your opponent or your opponent hard counter you. But they recently gave Shadow Claw to Metagross, so now it's much less RPS. It used to be like Metagross beat the fairies beat the Dragonite beat Metagross. Now it's Metagross beat everything. Yeah, like it's just like that. Now this league is basically Metagross beat everything. So there isn't counters to Metagross. No, there is. There is a what? Is there anything that beat me? Yeah, there are two Pokemons I think that can beat Metagross, but the problem with those two Pokemons is that they just lose to everything else. So it's just a very high risk game, but also it's the league where you can use those Pokemons you maxed out and you were never able to use them in the Master League. So let me just give you a recap onto the Master League Premier meta. It used to be Garchomp, Dragonite, Metagross, and it became Garchomp, Metagross, and it became Gyarados, Excadrill, Metagross, and it became Gyarados, Excadrill, Snorlax. Then they gave us the Florges, and it became Florges, Gyarados, Snorlax. Then they gave us Annihilate, and Annihilate was able to beat the Snorlax and bully it out of the league. Then it became Gholdengo, Scourge. And now we're kind of back to this situation right here, but you can just add a Gholdengo to them because Gholdengo acts like a Metagross without a Meteor Mash. So is that it? Well, technically that's not the end of it, but because here, if you go here, we're like, it was Primarina with a Charm, now it's Primarina with Waterfall as an example. So let's just talk about the top teams in this league, and then we will be able to explain throughout the teams. The strongest team in this league is basically Metagross, Primarina, and Hydreigon. Except that Metagross is running Shadow Claw, Primarina is running Waterfall, Hydreigon is running Fly Brutal Swing, no dragon damage. You could run also Brutal Swing Flash Cannon if you want to one-shot these fairies, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, you still die to 3 charms, so it's not like you made like an exception or like you made something extraordinary, right? So that's the main thing. So what does Primarina with Waterfall do? It still beat the dragons, and it still play into Metagross. Like, it has a huge play, okay? Yes, Metagross still win, but you're able to chip it out with a Pokemon that's technically, I don't know, 1200 less CP or something like that. So if there is no solution to Metagross, is there actually any Pokemon that can beat it? Yes, there is Ursaluna with High Horsepower. High Horsepower is the legacy move that Ursaluna learns throughout the Community Day move. So your best case is actually leading Ursaluna. I think that's what I will be doing. Now, I did not look into Ursaluna that is Shadow, but I actually have one that I could build. I think it's 15, 15, 13. And I want to try it out, okay? Ursaluna is like kind of a good-looking, worth it type of a Pokemon that you could build. I hope that one day we get a Mega Ursaluna or something like that. Now, they said one day that Ursaluna was supposed to get Shadow Claw. They still refused to give it Shadow Claw. I think it's gonna be the scariest Pokemon in Master League if they give it if they give it Shadow Claw, because it can just basically beat everything. Because you just run Shadow Claw, Swift, High Horsepower. It has also Thunder Punch if you want to beat the Flyers. It also has the Grass move, Trailblaze. So it's just a Pokemon that has everything that you could focus. Like, if you want to beat anything with this Pokemon, you can just dedicate charge moves for it. But if you want my advice, just go with a Swift and High Horsepower. If you want to run Trailblaze, you have to run Thunder Punch. Just keep that in mind. Dragonite, is the Dragonite Shadow better? I don't know if it's better. I just think it's different. It's just a harder hitting version of Dragonite. Just think of it that way. As far as Metagross, I do have a Shadow one. I might try. I mean, it's level 40. I can just double 2 clicks and take it to level 50, you know. and see how different it is. But there is another Pokemon that also can beat Metagross, and that Pokemon is actually Skeledirge. Skeledirge has Incinerate, Torch Song. Torch Song basically boosts the Incinerate damage. So if they don't shield, they are screwed. If they shield, they are even more screwed because the Incinerate will just melt them down. But let's not forget that Metagross also has Shadow Claw and can do some super effective Shadow Claw damage back. Also, Metagross has Psychic, so some sneaky people will try running Psychic instead of Meteor Mash because of things like this, where like you just throw the Psychic, they never expect it, they never shield it, and then the Shadow Claw will be able to farm them down after. As far as Golisopod, it's just a very low CP Pokemon, but it can do some good work because it has Fury Cutter, Aqua Jet, and X Scissor. Technically, you just play it out, you know. Golisopod has a good play. You could also do Shadow Claw if you want. I think both are viable. I don't think you can go wrong with this with Golisopod. It's just like the thing that you only can go wrong with is the CP is just a very low CP Pokemon. Gyarados, is it dead? No, I think Gyarados is still decent, but now you kinda need the Shadow. The non-Shadow, after they changed Dragon Breath, became bad, like actually bad, because non-stab Dragon Breath now is no longer as good as it used to be. Now you have to run the Shadow if the Dragon Breath is non-stab. Because just the Dragon damage doesn't add up as much as it used to, you know, like basically Dragon Breath now, it used to be 4 damage, 3 energy, now it's a 3 damage, 4 energy, so it's like now more energy generation, charge move, fast move. So you kind of need the boost from Shadow to be able to have a better version of the old Gyarados, if you want my judgment on that. Metagross is still the glue that holds everything in this league, and Swampert, you could try out Swampert. I don't think it's a bad Pokemon. I think it's actually a very decent one. If you want to be spicy, you can just run a Gholdengo. I don't have one myself, but I wish. Now, the thing about Gholdengo is that do you run Astonish or Hex? I think you just run Hex because you kind of need to throw Focus Blasts here and there. That's the main thing about it. You need to throw Focus Blast. I think there's a couple of matchups you must use. You must get to 2 Focus Blasts at least, and to get that, you kind of need the Hex. So Astonish doesn't give you that advantage. As far as Primarina, you still run Waterfall, Disarming Voice, and Hydra Cannon, and Hydreigon with the Dragon Breath, Brutal Swing, and Fly. Is Togekiss dead? I wouldn't say dead. I just say I think it's not the best. I think Primarina is just a straight, like actually straight better. What about Garchomp? Garchomp is in a weird situation. It destroys Metagross if you have much hot Earth power. But if you lead into Gyarados, you kind of need to have Dragon Tail. If you play against the Dragonite, you do need a Dragon Tail. Now, if you end up in a situation where you need a Dragon Tail, I think you're already in a bad situation because Dragon Tail is kind of an outdated fast move. You kind of want a Dragon Breath. That's what you want. So if you want to use Garchomp, I think you have to play Garchomp, Metagross, Dragonite. But I would just lead it as like this, have Dragonite in the lead, and put the Garchomp in the back as a way to counter those Steel type in the back. Now this team technically will struggle a lot into something like Magnezone in the lead, because you have to pivot out into Metagross, or you have to stay in and decide to call baits, blah blah blah, and its matchup, and then that matchup is gonna end up in favor of a Magnezone. Now, King Gambite is kind of a bad version of Gholdengo because it's a steel that loses to the fairies. Like, I don't know about that. I mean, it has Metal Sound, which is kind of nice, to be honest, but I don't think if it's worth it. But you guys try it and let me know in the comment section below. Is King Gambite worth using? Like, is it worth spending a lucky trade on? And the other two, because I feel like this team, if you get a win because of Gholdengo Primarina, if you lose, that's because King Gambite is just going to be underperforming. And let's not forget that Florges exist, and I think if you want to use this team, I kind of like Trailblaze more on Ursaluna. This team struggles a bit into Venusaur. Now you might be saying, like, is Venusaur usable? Well, last time Ursaluna and Florges were around, Venusaur was very usable because it could beat those two, and those two were everywhere. I think last time Master League Premier were around like a year ago, like around that. So yeah, this is all you need to know about Master League. I think there is one Pokemon that I did not mention, which is Baxcalibur. The thing is, I'm just not convinced enough to like build a team around it. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.